Hello everyone, thank you for checking out my YouTube channel. In this video I will talk a little bit about multi-band compression. Now I did have a video posted a while back with sidechain compression, and you can also check that one out, but in this video I'll talk more about compressors, what is a compressor, what it does, how you can use a compressor, and in particular how you can use multi-band compressors. So stick around. Okay, so multi-band compression for this video, but before we can get into that, we need to see what compression is and how you use compression in your music projects. Well, you can think of compression as a virtual fader that will move in real time, and this can help you iron out some of the fader instabilities in your mix, and this will basically help you achieve a better balance. The compressor actually affects the dynamic range of the input signal. Basically, let's say you have a signal from a singer and he sings some parts that are louder than the other parts, and you want to give this input signal a more constant level. Well, what a compressor does, it will start lowering the louder parts of the song and it will leave the quieter parts alone. This is the advantage of a compressor over a fader or volume adjustment, because if you do a volume adjustment it will affect the whole input signal, while, as I said before, the compressor affects the dynamic range, and you can actually set the threshold and you can tell the compressor, okay, this is where the signal is too loud and this is where I want you to start lowering the volume for this. So let's get back to multi-band compression. And the good thing about this type of compression is that it splits the input audio signal into 2, 3, or even more frequency bands, and each of these bands has its own compressor. Now this separation is done by using filters, so each band has a high pass and a low pass filter, and the compressor will only affect what's in between these two filters. And as I said, this is a good thing because it gives you more control over the input audio signal, because one loud event in one of the frequency bands will not affect the gain in the rest of the frequency bands. So basically you can use less compression in the input signal and you have more control over the balance. There's two reasons why you would use multi-band compression in your projects. Number one is to control the dynamics of the track, and this means that the compressor will help you obtain more balanced level throughout your track. Basically it will lower the louder sound and make the sounds that are softer louder. And the other reason is to use compression as an effect, and this basically means that you can move sounds further or closer to the listener, and you can add aggression or excitement to that particular sound. Also, you can actually adjust the envelope of the sound, and by giving the compressor a faster attack, this will give the sound more presence. It will make the sound more aggressive. And for example, if you have a longer decay set on the compressor, and this will make the sound have more meat, more fatness to it. Okay, so I do have a sample ready, and let's get to try some of these multi-band compressors. I have a Ableton Live standard multi-band compressor and one compressor from Isotope, the Ozone 9 compressor. and let's see how we can modify the sound. That was with no compression at all. Let's open this guy up. Let's open the Ozone and let's have a look inside here. I already have 2 bands, actually 3 bands set, and let's fire them up. Let's see what are they doing. So right now the bands are off, but I'm gonna turn on this band. And let's say that you want to get rid of that growl, right? So what you're gonna do is you can home into that frequency that you want to change. Let's go lower than that. There we go. Okay, let's say I do not want this in my mix. Okay, so I'm gonna lower this guy as too much. Okay, so I'm gonna change the sample and I'm gonna use something with more high end. Let's see this one. Nothing there. Oh, there's something here. Let's say that for this particular sample, I want to lower just the mid-range and I want to keep the high range what it is. If I would use a equalizer, that would take down some of the frequencies, but I do not want to do that. I still want to leave them there. I just want to compress it a little bit so maybe it doesn't clash with something else in my mix. And if I would use a compressor, the compressor is going to just crunch everything down, and I do not want that because I want to keep the top end clear. I just want to take down a little bit of the mid-range, and I'm gonna use this this guy here. Let's switch it on. Alright, so you can hear where the second bar comes in, that sustained note is creating some undesired artifacts down the way, and that's where I try to take out of this particular sample. And you can hear that the top end is still there, even that range that I scoped out, what was it, 300 to 800. So within that range, it's still, all the information is still there. The volume is where I want it to be, but just when the second bar hits, it doesn't go louder than anything else, like it was when we didn't have any compression. And this is just an example how you can use multi-band compression. Let's do. Okay, so let's get back to the first sample, and let's say that we actually want to add more growl to the bass, that we want the bass to sustain those sub bass notes. Let's see how we're gonna do that. So yeah, I just had to find that frequency band that I wanted to maintain there, and the bass has a lot more presence now, and it actually, you can hear where the initial attack is, and then you can hear the bass just remaining there for a couple of milliseconds. And as I said, this is, maybe you have a track that you're not using a kick drum, you only want to use the bass, and you want to cover more real estate in your song structure. This is one way to do it. All right, guys, so this are just a couple of examples of how you can use multi-band compression. Thank you for watching the video. Once again, I do try to keep these videos short and just give you a couple of examples on how I personally use the tools. But the most important thing is that you practice yourself in your DAW, practice with multi-band compression, listen to your monitors, listen to other people's songs and compare it to your own. This is the most important thing. You can watch tons of tutorials online. If you don't do the actual practice yourself, then you will not gain a lot of knowledge. That's the most important thing. Once again, thank you for checking out my videos, and I will try to post more, maybe even 2 videos a week, a shorter one and maybe one like this. As you can see, I did manage to get home. Right now I'm in Bucharest, and I do have some of my tools here with me, which makes work a little bit more fun. Also, if you guys have any comments, or if you have any suggestions for any videos that you would like me to film, please let me know. Also follow my social media links, And thank you all again for taking your time and watching my videos. Have a great week.